After yesterday's news, it looks like 2026 is shaping up to be the biggest year for Game of Thrones fans since the original series ended. Not one, but two new shows are hitting HBO, including one that could bring back the magic of Westeros in a way we haven't seen in years. So let's break down everything we know and why this could be the true revival of the Thronesverse. What's up, Headless Horde? Welcome back to the channel. If you've been missing Game of Thrones and all things Westeros, you'll want to stick around because 2026 is going to be packed with dragons, knights, and Targaryens. Now, over the last week or so, I've been dropping some Game of Thrones videos because I am missing it just like you guys. Today, we're breaking down the latest updates that broke yesterday about A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms and House of the Dragon Season 3. Plus, what fans and even George R.R. Martin himself are saying about the future of the franchise. So here's the headline. 2026 will give us two different Game of Thrones shows in the same year. First up, in January, HBO will be premiering A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight. Now, this is the story about Dunk and Egg. Then just a few months later, when we hit the early summer, it looks like Season 3 of House of the Dragon will return with one of the most explosive battles in the entire Targaryen Civil War. That means for the first time ever, fans will get back-to-back Westeros content without long droughts in between. After years of canceled spin-offs and false starts, this is the comeback that many fans have been waiting for. Let's start with the brand new show, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Now, this series adapts George R.R. Martin's beloved novels known as The Tale of Dunk and Egg. If you've never read it, the stories follow Sir Duncan the Tall, a humble but courageous hedge knight, and his squire Egg, who just happens to be a young Targaryen that will one day become King Aegon V. The timeline is fascinating because it's set about a century before Game of Thrones, but long after House of the Dragon. The Targaryens will still be sitting on the Iron Throne, but their dragons are gone, only recently extinct. This gives the show a unique setting. Westeros still under Targaryen rule, but without the firepower to define much of their dynasty. What's exciting here is the tone. Unlike the high-stakes, world-ending conflicts we've seen in past series, this one is more personal and adventurous. Dunk and Egg are wandering the Seven Kingdoms, encountering lords, knights, and dangers along the way. Think of this as a buddy adventure with sword fights, tournaments, and political intrigue simmering in the background. Now, originally, some reports had fans quite worried, including myself. Early leaks suggested just 6 short episodes, about 30 minutes each. That felt way too small for a rich story like the one they're trying to bring to the screen. But now we know HBO is treating this seriously. The first season, titled The Hedge Knight, is fully filmed and currently in post-production. Casey Bloys, HBO's chief, has confirmed that the release date for this series will be in January of 2026. Even better, plans are already in motion for seasons 2 and 3, which would adapt the other Dunk and Egg novels, The Sworn Sword and The Mystery Knight. HBO's Francesca Orsi has said they're looking at the trilogy as one complete story arc. And George R.R. Martin himself, well, he's hyped. He's seen all 6 episodes and says he's loved them, calling it as faithful an adaptation as anyone could reasonably hope for. He even teased characters like the Laughing Storm and Tansel Too Tall, who book readers will definitely recognize. Coming from Martin, who is notoriously critical of adaptations, that is a massive endorsement. Now, let's change gears and talk about House of the Dragon Season 3. It is now expected to hit around June of 2026, just outside Emmy eligibility. That means we're going to get it only a few months after Dunk and Egg wrap up. Season 2 was already building toward the height of the Dance of the Dragons, but Season 3 promises to bring the absolute carnage. The highlight will be the Battle of the Gullet, one of the bloodiest and most cinematic battles in Westerosi history. Imagine multiple dragons, naval fleets, and brutal clashes that could rival anything Game of Thrones ever put on screen. This sets up a fascinating contrast. In the same year, fans will experience both the intimate, low-stakes journey of Dunk and Egg and the massive dragon-fueled civil war of House of the Dragon. It's almost like HBO was covering all bases: quiet character-driven stories and epic spectacle. Now, what are fans saying? Well, the response from fans has been quite wild. On social media, people are calling 2026 a proper Westeros binge year. Some are excited to finally have multiple Thrones projects to sink their teeth into, while others are joking about binge fatigue. But for the most part, the hype is real. One fan summed it up perfectly: we're so back. And honestly, they're right. After years of false starts, remember the canceled Jon Snow sequel? Or we're about to scrap Long Night pilot. It feels like HBO has finally found its footing. The bigger picture here is that HBO seems committed to rebuilding Westeros as a long-term franchise. If A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is successful, we could easily see more Dunk and Egg adventures beyond the original novels. And with House of the Dragon still going strong, the Thronesverse could finally become the sprawling saga fans hoped for after Game of Thrones ended. Of course, there's always a risk. 2 shows in 1 year is ambitious, and if either one falters, it could bring back old doubts about the franchise. But if they both deliver, if Dunk and Egg captures the old sense of discovery and House of the Dragon brings the spectacle, 2026 could truly be the year of Game of Thrones redemption. Now it's your turn to tell me what you think. Are you more excited for the grounded adventures, Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, or the fiery chaos of the 3rd season of House of the Dragon? Or both? Drop your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear which side of Westeros that you're most hyped for. If you enjoyed the breakdown, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into Game of Thrones and beyond. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to keep those heads on, and I will see you guys in the next video.